Hi everybody, it's Faith Murray. This is my virtual ecology field trip for all of you today. As you can kind of tell, I'm in Edmonds, Washington. I'm at Brackett's Landing. And I can't wait to show you what I'm going to find today. Before anything though, I do want to honor and acknowledge the Coast Salish people of this area. So, little did most people know that the area I was in, Brackett's Landing North, is actually a bird sanctuary or conservatory, meaning that those birds can go there and it's protected by law. Little known fact about the bird conservation area is there was actually going to be a freeway connected to this side, the other side of the train tracks. There was going to be a freeway put like right about here, and because of amazing environmental activists, I actually was lucky enough to be a part of that group. We fought for it. We tried to make it known for other people to bring awareness that this area, this beautiful, like amazing wetland area, was going to be demolished, and we knew that it couldn't happen because it habitats so many different organisms. So luckily that didn't happen, and this is all still here and beautiful. The first kind of organism I want to show you guys today is called the common eelgrass. What we see is actually the aftermath of it breaking loose from where it once lived underwater, and the ocean waves and currents have happened to, bring it ashore. It's mainly found in coastal marine habitats in Northern America, but you can also be able to identify it by seeing the length of it. It kind of grows up to 3 or 4 feet long. It's more of a brownish green color, once it reaches land. I'm sure it's more of a deep, bright green underwater. And lastly, it has kind of a little bit of a rigid, streaky texture on its stems. Something interesting I would say about this organism is that it provides shelter for both marine life in and out of the water. If you've ever, lifted up a little bit of, seaweed and saw maybe a crab underneath, that habitats them and provides them with protection. It also, the eelgrass can provide a living space for mussels and clams that will sometimes stick onto its stems and live there for a while. And the last thing, something interesting about eelgrass, is that it provides both food for marine life and humans, because surprisingly humans can eat it. The second kind of organism I want to show you guys today are barnacles. So these little guys are actually in the class of arthropods, which are directly related to the crab and crustacean family. They grow mainly in subtidal zones, in more shallow waters, which is perfect right here on the beach. After coming home and doing a little bit of research, I was able to find out that these are actually called the common acorn barnacles. They're typically a half an inch to an inch in height, which helps you to be able to identify them. You're also going to notice them with a rugged, small white shell with a base that's not that much bigger than its top. They also are going to be mostly a white cream color, and you're always going to find them connected to a surface. Something kind of interesting about acorn barnacles is that you're never going to find 1 or 2 of them. You're always going to find them inhabiting huge areas in very large colonies. This characteristic actually contributes to its lifestyle being considered fairly invasive to other organisms. As we've learned in our ecology class, invasive species are extremely harmful and can threaten natural resources, and as well as our resources as well. Invasive species are capable of making native species to go extinct, which reduces our biodiversity and it alters our habitats. The third organism I want to show you guys is a great blue heron. You're going to be able to find them throughout most of North America, and also, as you can see in this video, you see them flying right above the surface of the water, ready to pick up their prey. Also, something else to be able to identify them is that you're going to find these birds flying pretty solo. They're not going to be in a group. They're also year-round resident birds. Something else you can use to identify them is they stand about 4 feet tall and with a larger wingspan of about 6 feet long. Something kind of interesting about this is because they're resident birds, they're able to stay here during the winter because they are very flexible with their diet. Now, this stuff may look just like regular old grass or, just bushes to the side, but it's actually called American dune grass, and it's really important to this area because it allows birds to come and use it as a habitat or as protection, and just provides a lot of shelter for a lot of the birds in this area. American dune grass is actually native to eastern North America, and you're typically going to find it more common in oceans and even lakes, but you can also find it in sand dunes in North America as well. How to identify it is it ranges from about a foot to 3 feet tall. It's got, that green, brown colored when it's dry, depending on what season you find it in. And also its branches are a spike-like shape, although it's going to be flat. Something interesting about American dune grass is that it actually helps block sand from getting into the ocean, which prevents coastal erosion, as well as this kind of grass has a symbiotic relationship with underground fungi, which is super cool. They're able to supply each other with their needed nutrients. The last organism I want to show you guys is the red rock crab. This crab is native to North America on the west coast. They really like the rocky terrain of Washington, hence their name, red rock. And they're actually, if we go back to our first organism, they're typically found in eelgrass. To identify them, they're normally a dark red brick color. They're kind of have this bumpy front edge, and this one is about 4 inches across, and they can range from 4 to 6 inches. Something interesting about the red rock crab is that they are edible like any other crab. They're a little bit smaller in size though, which makes them less meaty and juicy than perhaps the Dungeness crab, but they are small and mighty and are edible to humans. One last thing I want to talk about before I wrap up the video is pollution. As you can see, while I was on the beach, I came across some litter, and luckily I was able to pick it all up in a safe way, but especially this netting material, these objects can really harm the marine life in extreme ways. And as we've learned about in ecology, everything is connected, and when something is out of balance, there is always going to be a reaction, both positive or negative. Pollution like this will create a negative reaction. We are the ones creating this problem for ourselves, and we are the only ones that can fix it and need to fix it. If you have one takeaway from this video, it is to begin making small changes in your life that will create a positive reaction for the environment. Lastly, I want to tell you guys why I chose this location. I chose Edmonds Beach because just like to the birds in this area, it is my own sanctuary to come to the beach and just relax and let the water kind of just take my worries and stress away when I can't handle it on my own. And it's really just a healing place for me and always has been. I think that's it. That concludes our virtual field trip today, and the 5 different organisms that we were able to see and the different concepts we were able to learn about. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you later.